atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
This town needs an enema.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
Gotham, this is your liberation.
My mother warned me about getting into cars with strange men.
This isn't a car.
20 years in Gotham. How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way? He has the power to wipe out the entire human race.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector. In the dark night, I'm Batman.
Let the games begin.
Welcome to the Batman on Film podcast. Here is your host, Bill Jett Ramey, co-host Rick Shew, and the BOF Roundtablers, Justin Kowalski and Ryan Haas.
Hey now, you are listening to, what we're going to call this, a special edition of the Batman on Film podcast. We're not going to give it an episode number. It's more of a supplement to a BOF story that I wrote yesterday and posted on the site. I was probably 18 hours tardy posting it because I've been dealing with a hurricane since last Friday. Hurricane Harvey here in the greater Houston area and the Texas Gulf Coast from Corpus Christi all the way to Port Arthur has been hammered by this. Anyway, I am Bill Jett Ramey. I am the founder of Batman on Film and the host of the podcast. And we're going to talk just a little bit of Batman on Film news this morning. And with me today is my irritated co-host from West Plano, Texas, Rick Shew. Rick,
see, I vented.
You got a full tank of gas, sir?
I vented off mic so I wouldn't be irritated. Now you're going to make me irritated.
Well, I figured it would be good radio.
That's a cheap trick. Cheap trick. I've seen them live a couple of times. Yes. Listen. First of all, I'll say this. What I'm about to say does not even, it's like first world problems compared to what's going on down in Houston. So I just want to make sure that's clear. We will deal with a gas shortage. We don't have people that have lost their homes around us. So I was to make sure that people understand I'm not even comparing the two at all. With that said, I will say that Dallas got hit today in terms of the effects from the storm, and gas stations are out of gas everywhere. It's kind of mayhem out there. And I was just venting off mic about some individuals that are holding up the gas lines that are 45 minutes to an hour long in a lot of cases to get a tank of gas. And they're filling up their little gas tanks as well, right? Up to 4, 5, 6 at a time. So A, they're holding up the line, and B, they're taking away gas that people are going to need. Now, some of those people may have very valid reasons for that, and I certainly, I don't know every scenario, but my fear is most of these people are just being insensitive, and they are stockpiling their gas and not letting it. We're not spreading the wealth, right? We're not letting it go to people that need it. So it's a little irritating.
Well, what people don't realize may not realize is that the Texas Gulf Coast produces an enormous amount of gasoline for the not just for the state of Texas, but for the entire country. From Port Arthur's, I grew up in that Beaumont Port Arthur area, and it's several refineries down there that produce gas. So it's just the refineries have been shut down, and the trucks haven't been able to get out. I mean, you still can't get out. You can barely get out of Houston. I mean, I think we can get to Dallas going up 45, but everything east on I-10 is shut down. And, I'm not going to get into Hurricane Harvey talk, but let me just say that I did some volunteering yesterday. Announcer Rachel and I we went to Walmart, which I'm not a Walmart fan, but I went and we bought whatever we could. A lot of toiletries and stuff like that, and even clothes. and brought to a shelter distribution area, because we went to 3 or 4 shelters and they were, listen to this, Justin. And here's Justin Kowalski. What's up, dude?
Hey.
BOF Roundtabler. These shelters wouldn't take anything because they had like too much, and they would send you to somewhere else. The people, people really stepped up and been volunteering and donating down here. So besides that,
that's amazing. And those stories will supersede the gas bandits all day long. And I went and dropped off some more donations today at a spot in Dallas. Yeah.
Like Mad Max.
But I dropped off some more donations today that a couple friend of ours gave us, and it was very generous of them, and took it to the drop off location. And it was just so many volunteers there, and I'm very
the whole state, Rick. We proud of our state, man.
I'm proud of our state. I'm proud of people that look past politics after some of our politicians voted against Sandy Aid, and they're up in Jersey saying, you know what, we don't give a damn about them. We care about you guys. Yeah. We're getting record donations from people all around that area, people from New Orleans. It's really remarkable. The human spirit will really shine in moments like this. And it's, and the jerks getting too much gas, heck with them. Hope they all end up with a flat tire.
Yeah. You had people in their boats, Justin, that have been going around because, I don't know what percentage of Houston, the greater Houston area is flooded, but it's a lot. It's a lot, especially if you're near reservoirs and you're near bayous, if you're near, we've got the San Jacinto River, it runs through here. There's Buffalo Bayou in downtown, runs through downtown Houston. Everything eventually goes into the Galveston Bay and into the Gulf of Mexico. So it's all coming from all sorts of this huge area, and it's all channeling into going to one place. And people, I can't tell you how many people lost their homes, their own roofs, but you had these people in boats.
Yeah. I'm
talking hundreds, if not thousands of boats, saving people. Even not far from me, a stone's throw neighborhood is underwater. Saw them. In fact, I was on the phone with Rick yesterday, and while I was driving around, we were trying to deliver those supplies, and there were just a parade of boats coming in to various neighborhoods around here to help people. And this is going on from the Katy area, that's west of Houston, all the way to, down to Port Arthur. It's a mess. So I did want to say, and we'll get on to the Batman talk, is that if you want to contribute, go to, and I posted this on Batman on Film several times on Twitter and on Facebook, and even on my story I wrote yesterday we're going to discuss here. Go to Red Cross, go online, and go to Salvation Army. If all you got is $5, put in $5, because that makes a huge difference, right? Even $5. So that's all I got on that. Anything? I think we talked it up to storm. So no pun intended, but donate if you can, and just keep Texas in your thoughts. Especially this part of Texas, a lot of people. We were lucky. No flooding here. Lots of rain. I didn't get flooded, and I didn't lose my electricity, thank goodness. But people, like I said, stone's throw from me are without electricity and had their house completely flooded. So it was bad. All right. So the bit of news we're going to talk about involves Justice League and the fact that Warner Brothers put out just a few days ago, because I got the email from them. It was their fall movie preview. And in the credits for Justice League, which have not changed much, but there was one significant change. Joss Whedon has been given a written by credit on the film, along with Chris Terrio. He and Chris Terrio are the only two writers listed, whereas Chris Terrio was the sole screenwriter prior to this. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. So, Rick, we talked a lot about this. What's your take on this? Let me say this real quick before I turn it over to you. There's all sorts of politics and all kind of, shuffling of, shell shuffling around when it comes to this sort of credit stuff. But according to the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, for an adapted screenplay, which let's just go by that, because I know that like Dark Knight and any comic book movie, Deadpool, which got an Oscar nod for screenplay, was best adapted screenplay because it's they're adapting a comic book, whatever. But it's essentially to get a credit for someone to come on board, they would have to add at least 33% to the film. So we'll just go by that number, 33%. So,
right.
Essentially, Joss Whedon has written probably at least 33% of the film. And there's, again, politics and all sorts of stuff go on with this. And furthermore, he has, he directed everything he wrote. And I got some other thoughts on that, but we'll talk about just that general fact of the matter, pretty much fact of the matter about that first. So Rick, go, and then Justin, you chime in anytime, sir.
Well, I'll start off by saying this. There are a lot of fans that are tired of the play-by-play, behind the scenes, and they don't care how the sausage is made. They just want the movie to be good. I've heard that a few times. And you know what? To those people, this podcast is probably not for you, because we're going to discuss that, because it's news and we're analyzing that. It's what we do. But you know what? I do recognize the fact that some people just are over this and they just want the movie to be good. And quite frankly, so do I. I would rather us be talking about something else right now. You know, Justin and Ryan just did a Batman.
Absolutely.
They just did a Batman 89 commentary that they recorded last night. I'm excited to see that. We're going to do a supplemental episode, and we're going to wait until this weekend's Labor Day, and we're going to do it next weekend. We're going to dive more into the film and take mailbag questions, and we want to be talking about stuff like that. But, you know, this stuff comes up, and it's stuff that we've covered, and it's stuff, quite frankly, that we've reported. And so here we are. So I just want to say that up front, that I recognize that those are many of you like that, and you're rolling your eyes and you're over these conversations. Don't blame you. But for those that are interested in this sort of play-by-play and what's going on behind the scenes, so now I'm speaking directly to you, is that, yeah, this is significant. And I think just at the end of the day, what this means is that Joss Whedon's role in this film is far more prevalent than some people have reported that it is or going to be. That's not to say that this film is still not, in essence, a Zack Snyder film in terms of his vision, and doesn't mean that Joss Whedon isn't coming in respecting the material that was there and helping build on it. Of course, that's what he's doing, but his fingerprints are all over this. And I go back to Ben Affleck himself when he gave a direct quote about Justice League, and he said that this film is the tale of two directors. And I think that's exactly what we're going to get, for better, for worse. I mean, we probably won't know. Unlike Superman 2 with Richard Lester, we're not going to get a Richard Donner director's cut 30 years later, because there is no Zack Snyder director's cut, because he's getting director's credit. We'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. But at the end of the day, what we're talking about is a film that Zack Snyder started, and Joss Whedon has come in and made significant changes and is getting the credit for it. And I'll just say this one last thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to Justin. And I go back to this all the time. Let's not forget that Joss came in and changed the composer. And I can't repeat enough how significant just that is in itself, right? So look, that's the bottom line. His role is more significant than some people said. It's undeniable. There's no spin that can save that. Let's just call it for what it is. But at the end of the day, let's just all hope this movie's great, and we just celebrate a great movie, and then all this is moot anyway.
And real quick before Justin goes, for the record, Batman on Film, I personally reported from the 1st or 2nd of June that the reshoots were going to last 2+ months, and they were significant. I've been saying it for 3 months now. I've never wavered, and there are reports that say otherwise, that, oh, it's not a big deal and blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, it is a big deal. All right, Justin. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. As far as the WGA stuff goes, man, once you start getting into legal papers, I'm out of the conversation because it gets kind of confusing. I mean, I did read up a little bit on what was happening, and it sounds like it's not a. There's certain things that he's not going to get credit for because they are saying that the whole 50% to 33% part of it. What to me sounds interesting is that he has to share it with Terrio. Because of, I mean, he's coming in, here at the whatever point he came in to get
after the fact.
After the fact, that's kind of a different thing. Because on other movies, I don't know. I was reading about Jurassic Park, how the director threw out the original script and then they rewrote it, but the people who did write the movie, I think it was Jurassic World, complained and were able to get writing credit on it because I guess the changes weren't as significant. So what that tells me is the changes that Whedon has made are significant and that they're adding, a lot more to the original story that, Terrio created. So that being said, just going back to what Rick said, in the end, I just want the movie to be good, but it does say in this entire narrative of what's been going on behind the scenes, Whedon's making significant, changes to what's happening. The most telling thing for me the entire time, because I sit on the side of it is like, I want this to be good. Hopefully, that Whedon's coming in and he's not totally going to distract from what Snyder did on a visual level, because that could be disjointed. My biggest fear is man, Snyder has a certain visual style, and if Whedon gets in there and does his stuff, that's going to feel weird.
It's going to be tough to do because so much of it, like it or not, is special effects, CGI, and that's too expensive to change. Yeah. Not saying they did not shoot stuff that involves green screen and, everything they shot pretty much involves green screens, but there's not that much, if you're doing, dialogue and you're using a green screen and you're going to insert the background later, that's not a big deal. But I'm talking about big special effects shot, like the obnoxious scene of Aquaman surfing a parademon down a building. But I shall digress on that. But
See, I love that. To me, I'm like, man, I want to see.
Everyone
go down.
Look here. We actually disagree sometimes.
That's not Aquaman. That's not Aquaman, dude. That's James Hetfield.
Yeah. That's the end of a Metallica show right there.
I digress. So continue, Justin.
Yeah, no. So, getting to the point of that was where my concern was how is this going to feel at the end of the day? And so once they brought in, Danny Elfman and stuff like that, that's where my brain started to move to the point of this is bigger than what it was starting to sound like. That's a huge change. And I know you just brought that up, Rick. All of these things now are starting to inform what's, what type of a change these are. And it's very gradual. It's like a slow pace of here's what he's doing now. Well, now he just came in to help out. Well, now he's this, and now he's this. Now this has changed. And the writing, to be honest, this writing credit thing, it's not as big as a deal as some of these other things. But I feel like when you connect it to the web of everything, that's where it's telling. That's all. I'm not saying it's not important, but in the line of this story, it's starting to put the writing on the wall of what's going on.
Well, and Justin, would you say because Whedon is also directing those scenes that he wrote, that's probably part of it? And that's exactly, and that's part of it. Usually these people, they write their stuff, and and that's stuff Whedon's done before. He's written, he.
All right, let me get a script, doctor.
Let me put this out there, and let me just get you guys' reaction to it. Is it possible that let's say it's 25 pages, that's about roughly what we've been told and what we know.
Oh, it's more than that, but yeah. Go ahead.
Well, right, okay. Right, but when you can't, anyway, so 25, 30, 35 pages, whatever.
220, 221, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, right. So, is it possible that, because what people do acknowledge now, even people that don't, for whatever reason, want to accept that Whedon has more influence on this film than they would like for whatever reason. And, that's their deal. But they are acknowledging that Whedon was involved in this project before it was actually originally reported, right? So is it possible?
Are they?
Yeah, many are. Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's their defense to this. Hey guys, this is no big deal. Whedon was involved with this back when Snyder was still directing it. They're just, he was just collaborating with them. This was all what Snyder wanted him to do. That's the defense right now that I'm seeing a lot of. Okay,
it's not true, but
I know it's not. I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
I know.
Okay, so, but my question is, they're still acknowledging at least that he's been involved longer than it was reported. He didn't just come in after that awful tragedy and that was it. He was there prior to that horrible incident. But my question is this: is it possible that any of the scenes that Joss wrote that Snyder actually directed himself?
Yeah, I couldn't answer that one. I don't know.
Yeah, out of all the stuff that Whedon has written, how much of it do we think that he directed himself? How much of it maybe was actually directed by Snyder is my question.
I think that everything that Joss Whedon wrote, he directed. And I'll say it that way.
And I know you know a lot more about this film than I do, stuff that you don't even share with me, and because you are very loyal to your connection. So
yeah.
So you'll just leave it at that?
I'll leave it at that. And
okay.
let me ask you something, and not really ask you. I want you to do something, and because you brought it up and Justin brought it up, and I think it's important. I think it's getting overlooked a lot. I think it was when it first happened, it got a little run, but the importance of it seems to be dismissed. Danny Elfman scoring this film, coming in, throwing out everything Junkie XL did, that's a big deal, man.
It's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Hey, we've said this before on the show, and we'll say it again. If you know film, and I think most people that listen to us do, and hell, they probably know it better than we do. But if you understand the process of filmmaking and what really goes, the music, the score is, oh my gosh, it's more than just the lead character. It's almost is the lead character, it's the most powerful driving force in the film. Maybe period in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like it's as important as the script, and it's as important as the performances. They're all like first cousins. They're all brother and sister. They're all Siamese twins, whatever, how you want to put it. It's crucial to the film, and it's an integral part of the fabric of the film. And when you change that, that's like going in and taking Tom Hanks out of Forrest Gump and recasting him. I mean, it really is like that. I mean, you change the composer and you change the music, you change the film.
It seems like some people would say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Just music, but that's almost ridiculous. You say that.
You dismiss the significance of a score by doing that,
yes.
particularly in a film like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, just to plug the Batman '89 commentary. Hey, that's coming out. Oh, as we were watching that film, one of the things we talked about is there's that scene where the Batmobile is driving, with Vicky back to the Batcave, and it's Descent into Mystery is the track.
Yes.
And we were just talking about, without that track, that scene may not work as well. It could have been a really cheesy action, movie, typical score, but what Elfman did there, and I'm not specifically talking about what Elfman's going to do in the movie. It just happens to be the same. Well, it just happens to be the same guy.
That
piece is amazing, and it really sets the tone and the mood for that scene. And it's a character in that movie. Elfman's score is another part,
absolutely,
of that movie, and so
that's a great analogy, Justin. God, that scene. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's just a great analogy.
But that's what we were talking about. We kind of got hung up on it a little bit because what Elfman's created was special, and when people think about Batman '89, that's going to be one of those top things they talk about is, oh, the score was beautiful. The score was amazing. So in any film, especially a movie like Justice League, something that's like a tentpole, it's what Warner Brothers is putting a lot of expectation on in their year releases. You change a composer, that's a big deal.
Hey, think about the shot in here's my Star Wars plug and A New Hope, and Luke is on Tatooine. Right at the beginning of the film, he's looking up at the twin suns. just that shot is beautiful, right? But imagine that shot with different music. Cool. But man, that music elevates that whole shot. We used to have this thing in acting classes and workshops I would take on film acting and whatnot. And, they always say that if a woman cries, if a man cries on camera, he gets an Oscar. If the woman cries, it's expected. Kind of a double-edged sword for women actors, right? But it was like, we used to all talk about that in acting class. And then we'd also talk about how, like, if you could cry on cue in a scene, and then we would say, God, just imagine if that was shot on 35 millimeter, and more importantly, if there was a score behind us, we'd all have won an Oscar. And it was part of the discussion. It was like I'm going to use the word fabric again. It was like part of the fabric of film acting classes that you knew that your performance was just halfway there in some of these scenes, that you needed a score to elevate it and to complement it. And so anyway, I just can't, I'm a junkie where that stuff's concerned. I love scores, and the significance of it is just that it's significant.
Look, just in recent Batman films, think about how awesome the Catwoman theme was in Dark Knight Rises. It was perfect. A little, piano, like it was like a cat running across a piano, and it was just awesome. The Joker theme in The Dark Knight, that escalating string, it was done with string instruments, and it builds the crescendo, and then bum, 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 it's just, and, probably the greatest piece of music that was a character in a film is the Jaws theme, John Williams, Jaws, so the shark theme. So, I just can't, I wanted to give this some spotlight on how important the music is and why bringing in Danny Elfman is a big deal. So,
right. And I don't think we just put too much time on that, because that gets so overlooked. That in itself is such a big deal. But anyway, moving on from the composer, it's still at the end of the day where we end up is with this gentleman's contribution to this film is much bigger than people said. And for anyone to just say still right now that, oh, no, he just came in just to kind of, Zach told him what he wanted to do, and he just kind of did what Zach said and just, did some final touches. That's all. This is no big deal. I mean, if that's what you want to believe, that's fine. I'm just telling you that's just not factually true. It's just not.
Yes.
Right.
What did you want to bring up? We talked off mic.
Yeah, and it's
earlier.
I guess it's this, and I didn't want to get too much off in this stuff. So I don't want this to be a negative show or we're right and you're wrong kind of thing. Because it's
let me say this. Start. Hold on. Let me say this.
You just messed up my mojo.
No, I didn't mess up your mojo. You're not at all.
Go ahead. I'm kidding.
Nope, there's nobody.
I don't even have mojo. What are you talking about?
There's no one that has mojo like you, and there's no one that knows they have mojo like you. So anyway,
scratching my head on that one. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Just go ahead. No, what I wanted to say real quick. We want this film to be good, and we want to enjoy it. We want to, dare I say, love it. We want that. Us discussing this is not us bashing Justice League. It's not bashing Zack Snyder. It's not trying to prop up and build up Joss Whedon. We're just telling you what's happening. And I've said it on, I don't know how many shows. I don't know how many articles I've written. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe Justice League was bad at one time, but they're doing everything they can to make it good and enjoyable. This, I don't, some folks take it like this news and is like some kind of personal attack on them individually. It's not. I'll say it again. Batman on Film, the site collectively, me personally, Justin, Ryan, Rick, all of us, everyone who contributes wants this film to succeed and be good. So that narrative about this site is complete BS. And anyone with half a brain who actually listens to this show and reads what I write knows this. All right. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, and none of us have ever said that we want all this scrapped and them just to start over. No, it was, first of all, we love the cast members anyway, and we love half the movie. So
the worst I've said is I'm not excited for it.
Right. No,
it doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it and end up loving it. That's two different things.
Yeah, we're just talking about It's just the facts, man. It's just the facts. We're just talking about the facts. All right. So anyway, so here's what I was saying now. And I guess this does kind of go to the fandom aspect of it. And I don't want to waste too much time on this, but their reaction, you know, there's certain people, Bill, that just, and Justin, but, you know, to you, because I know that it was kind of frustrating you a little bit, and rightfully so, but we're not going to change anybody's minds or whatever. I just, because when you have people that no matter what, let's just take us. Well, I'm going to use us as the actual example. We will literally report something. Okay. We're getting good word from our sources that Affleck may not end up directing the Batman. Oh, BS. He went on Kimmel. You guys are lying. Fake news. You're DCU haters. Okay. And then he ends up not directing. So then we're kind of like, hello, see, we told you guys. Oh, no, that had nothing to do with what you guys were reporting. That was just a coincidence. He just was having family problems. Like, okay, well, whatever. All right. Then we get into, hey, Joss Whedon, his role is much more substantial than people are letting on, and some people are reporting. And then what do they say? Oh, Batman on film just hates DCU. That's BS. Joss Whedon's just doing some final touches. This is 100% Zack Snyder. Okay, then we find out, you know, he changes the composer. There's 30-something new pages or whatever it is. He is now getting writer's credit, which means 45 of the minutes of the movie is like literally his at minimum.
3 months of reshoots.
3 months of reshoots.
Basically, and $25 million plus put into this.
And then what is their reaction to that is, oh, yeah, but he was there before Zach left, and he's just doing what Zach told. This is all still Zach's idea. So, see, my point is, Bill, we can't win to win, right? I mean, we can report something,
and I'm not trying to win.
I know, and I say win is just a figure.
I know.
Figure of speech. I don't mean we're not in a contest. I just mean we're not. Look. If it goes against what we report, and that could happen, sometimes sources can give you bad information. That'll happen. Then you know what? Then we're the bad guys and we're fake, and that proves that we're full of BS. But then if it happens, just like we said, which has been very consistent, especially lately, then it happened in spite of our reporting. So I guess it's an exercise in futility. It's like,
let me ask you this. Okay. That's the great way to put it. It's an exercise in futility. Now let me say this, or ask you both this. Is there anything that I've told you, either here on this podcast, I've said on Batman on Film in an article, or I've told you off the record, privately, is there been anything that hasn't not yet happened that I said was going to happen, that I said was going on?
No, and there's a lot of things that we don't discuss publicly, or things that you don't even tell us that we know will happen, and we can't talk about them. So no, I mean, look, we knew months ago about, you know, the mustache situation. We had private conversations and about that and how funny that was. And I remember thinking, man, that's going to leak. I mean, there's got to be a set photo with him in that suit and that mustache. It's going to leak. And of course the story ends up leaking. Unfortunately, there was no picture to go along with it, but damn it. But the Photoshops were good enough.
I wonder if, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go.
If he's able to shave that now because, the production on Mission Impossible has been pushed back because Tom Cruise hurt himself.
Yeah, he may have, but I think he's completely done with his stuff. He had to shoot.
You know what would have been funny is as soon as he's done, he's like, oh, you can shave it now.
I don't know if I could, I don't know if he did scenes with anybody, you know. He might, I don't know if he did at all. I'm thinking he didn't, but I couldn't have taken I would have laughed to see Superman with a mustache. Yeah. It reminds me of this story, comic book story it was in the 40s, where I don't know if y'all ever read it. It used to come, you know, when I was a kid, they would have these oversized comics, and they would print stories from the 40s, and whether it be Superman or Batman or whatever. And there was one where there was an explosion, and Clark Kent was there, and there was no way to explain him not dying, so he had to change his identity. And one of his identities was he was a waiter, and he had a mustache, and it always reminded me of that when I thought about Cavill, you know, growing a mustache and then being on set in the Superman costume and having to, you know, portray Superman. Oh, whatever. I'm just.
That's funny though.
Went off the rails there, so whatever. All right.
All right. So there's a lot of things that just everything that we've said. And here's the thing. We have also reported that we have very good sources that are vetted that let us know that there's a very strong possibility that Affleck's not returning. And we've talked about this so much, it just makes my head spin even bringing it up. But it's important in context here. And if he ends up not, and that gets reported, then it's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be, oh, well, he's just not because he's going to go ahead and go be a director. And it had nothing to do with Batman on film or John Campea or whoever else they don't like said, right? It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter what it is. We can't win. You know, it's like heads I win, tails you lose. That's how they look at it to us, I guess. Anyway.
Yep. Justin, any thoughts? Kind of wind this up here.
No, just to reiterate, we want the movie to be good. I seriously though am getting sick of just all the different news. And I feel like I shared this in a Twitter thread. Sometimes we have to report stuff because that's what we do. And sometimes I hear it and I'm not super stoked on it. It's not because of who's delivering it. I'm not mad that we're delivering it. I'm mad that, or maybe mad's the wrong word. It's frustrating to hear like, man, can't this just be a smooth production? You know, like, and that's where that's where I hit it. Cause I understand when people don't want to hear certain things, but that's not what, you know, our job is to, hey, this is what's going on. Right. I mean, that's
yes,
the part
it
where,
is.
Like, if you don't want to hear it, then okay, that's fine. But sometimes it is interesting though, to see at the end of the day, like, man, all these things that happened, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that that's
the whole point.
It's just the news. It's the news that we talk about, and if it's perceived as negative or neutral or positive, it's just the news. And we all talked about for many podcasts, and still do, how much we loved Wonder Woman, and just all of us loved it. It was so positive. Our watch party in Dallas was a smashing success. It was just a great weekend and a great 3 or 4 month period for the DCU. And we rode that wave with everyone. We're just, hey, we're going to ride the highs. We're going to ride the lows. And at the end of the day, look, we're all just Batman fans. That's it. That's what we all have in common. And I just want to get past all this BS of people fighting and calling, you know, Bill, you recently were called a leech on society on Twitter. I'm like, my God. I mean, golly, people. So look, that's it. We're going to see how this film plays out, and you can believe what you want to believe, don't want to believe, don't care, indifferent, whatever. All
society.
Man, that's a good one.
All we are reporting is that Joss. Listen
here, and you know what? Let me just say this real quick.
Well, he kind of is.
No, I'm a straight up. I can be an a-hole, but I don't know about being a leech on society.
I'm not a big Joss Whedon fan. I'm not. Yeah, him being a part isn't like, oh wow. For me, it's not a big exciting like addition to the film. I'm like, okay, it makes my eyebrow arch even more. Like, okay, because I wasn't a huge fan of. I thought Avengers was good, but I think Avengers is just, you know, that's a one-off. Like Age of Ultron, man, all the ideas that he was frustrated about and that he wanted to add are the things that I don't like about the movie. And so, you know, I'm going into Justice League like, I hope it's good, because it's a mixture of two different tastes. And so fingers crossed, and
right.
I'm going to love it, you know?
Yeah.
I know a little bit more about the film than I want to know. And I just want to go in now and just watch it. Let it just be good. Hey, good time to plug our Austin watch party, Bill.
Yeah.
That was actually a setup, Bill.
I know. Well, I would do that. We are having a Justice League watch party in the great city of Austin, Texas, on November 17th. But Rick, since you do have some spokesperson background and experience, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, then I think you would be better suited to do that. So go ahead, please.
To do our watch party.
To do our watch party promo here. Come on.
So it's the weekend it's Saturday, November 18th. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. We've said this before. If you have not booked your trip, if you plan on going, please go ahead and do it. particularly with what's going on in Houston as well, because that actually is going to have some effect on travel to Texas in terms of hotels, because a lot of people are coming into Dallas and Austin to stay that have the means to do so. There's a lot of people with a lot of money whose houses are underwater, and guess where they're at? They're in Dallas and Austin. That's where a lot of them are. So I would book your hotel. Plus Austin is a crazy town on weekends anyway. Plus it's Wizard Con as well. So,
Wizard World, yeah.
I'm sorry, Wizard World.
It's same weekend, yeah.
Yeah, and who's going to be there? Is it Jason Momoa's going to be there? Is that
who's going to be at Wizard World? Yeah,
yeah, he's going to be at Wizard World. So hell, who knows? Well, he'll be tied up all day, but I am going to hit him up and let him know who we are and why we're in town. And that crazy mofo may end up meeting us for a beer. You just never know. He's
yeah.
You never know. I mean, he's a nut. You know, he may show up. It's like I could see him showing up. So I'm going to try.
We need to send him some way to send him a Batman on Film T-shirt. He's on Instagram a lot, isn't he?
He's Pride of Gypsies on
Yeah. Like that dude's too cool for his own good.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I do too.
Like that guy a lot.
He's super cool, and I think he's going to be awesome as Aquaman. I'm looking forward to a solo film. But yeah. So anyway, book the trip, and then also we're going to see the film early. And so the way this works is that once we lock in the time and we say, okay, we're seeing it at this theater, which is the Alamo Drafthouse, and we're going to see it at the Bill. What's the address to that? Do you have it in front of you? I know it's the one downtown.
No, it's not the one down. It's just south of downtown. It's on the one on South Lamar.
That's right. Thank you for that correction.
Yeah. It's 1120 South Lamar Boulevard, Austin, Texas 78704. And if you go to BOF proper, there is a whole web page dedicated to it. It's the original Alamo Drafthouse is the one I think Rick was referencing. It's actually in downtown. This one is just south of it's just south of the river in Austin, and there is a bar / restaurant / karaoke place called Highball right next door, connected. Plus, you really are you're a hop, skip, and a jump from being right in downtown Austin where everything is. So, but go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So, and then once we find out the time, so that's the proper location, the South Lamar location. We will announce it everywhere. We'll blast it all over social media. Justin will put it on Instagram. Bill and I will put it on Facebook and Twitter. And it's real simple. Hey guys, 3:00. Here's this. We're seeing this exact specific screening. Go get your tickets. Meet us there. We'll do probably, I don't know, like a 3:00 screening, 2:00, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe a 4:00. And the reason we wanted
3 is a good time, right in the middle.
Well, yeah, just
right in the middle of the afternoon. Yeah.
Just depends on show times.
Yeah, show times.
Sure. That's hence the ambiguity there. If there's a 3:00 screening, that's the one we're getting. So anyway, and then that way that when it's over, then people like Bill that go to bed at 8:00 because they're 120 years old will actually go out and have a good time for a few hours. And
Rick, we actually had a conversation after 10 p.m. the other night. So
we did. It was weird.
Come on.
We're going to go to Rainey Street, and I'm a really good tour guide of the party scene in Austin, and know where to go and where not to go. It'll be a lot of fun. So we hope you guys come. And look, and we'll all talk about the movie. We'll give our honest opinions of it. We'll toast to it regardless. Hey, if we don't like it, hey, it wasn't for me, but hey, here's the 2018 DCU 2.0. If we liked it, we'd say, you know what? Pleasant effing surprise, kick ass. No, whatever. It's going to be a celebration regardless of the outcome of the film. You can't lose. You can't lose. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Justin, are you coming? What's the status with you?
I still have some things I need to work through. I'm trying really hard. So,
we're gonna have to do something in your neck of the woods and get up to Southern California for a screening.
Well, I was. It would be really awesome. Like when we do these parties, like if we could do them in different locations at sometimes. Where you guys are in the middle, Ryan's on the east.
We can do that now. That's absolutely. I mean. Yeah, we got Ryan on the East Coast in North Carolina, and you're out in Southern California, Riverside, near Los Angeles, and then Rick and I have North and Southeast Texas covered, but we'll do ours the same place. Rick and I mean, it's not a big deal for us to get together. All right, so yeah, Just League Watch Party in Austin, November 18th 2017. More details are coming soon, but you can find the details at Batman on Film proper. There's a banner at the bottom part of the main page. Just click on that. All right, Justin, plug whatever, and go ahead and mention the episode 89 and Instagram and BOF 2.0, whatever you want to talk about. Go.
Yeah. So yesterday, Ryan and myself and our special guest, Chris Clow, were doing a commentary for Batman 89. So we'll release that, I believe, this weekend. Is that what we're going to do? We'll release that first, and then
yes.
We'll follow it up with a Batman 89 Q&A episode, which will be really awesome. It was just fun watching that movie again. I mean, it's not like I think I just watched it about 5 weeks ago, but it was good. It was a good time. Yeah, please check out the Instagram. We just kind of relaunched it last week, and it's been good. We've been getting in contact with a lot of old Batman on Film fans, and then current people that were like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You're back on Instagram!" So it's been cool getting the messages to everybody who's been following. Keep interacting with us on there. That's been good. We'll try to put some. We're gonna put some contests together. Me and Ryan were talking. So, and that will only be available on the Instagram channel. So go to Instagram and then check out at Batman on Film. That's what it is. All right, and also we have Batman on Film 2.0 coming up, which is awesome because it's also Batman on Film 20. So coming around January, we're gonna have some updates to the website and everything like that. So it's gonna be good. I just always want to push people to go to TeePublic, buy a Batman on Film T-shirt, represent. We're gonna keep adding more stuff to there. I have some other fun stuff I need to get finalized and thrown up on the page, so you can always looking fashionable and representing the best Batman website on the net. So
yes, thank you. And did you plug your own Twitter?
Oh no, yeah. Follow me on Twitter at J_Rocka and check out Let's Go Cast and at Let's Go Comic Show if you want to hear this voice even more.
Yes.
Hey now.
Everyone does.
Hey now.
Hey now. Okay, Rick. Anything? Your Twitter, whatever. Anything else?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, ShewRick, SHEW. And then on Monday, my guys and I are going to put together episode 13 or episode 12. Anyway, we're doing our next Left Shoe Politics podcast, and we're going to just go off on the DNC and Democrats and how terrible they are. So that'll be a good show. And what else? Anyway, so there's a lot of fun stuff on the horizon at Batman on Film. I know we talk about it a lot, but we have cool podcasts. We are going to do part 2 of a Batman 89 commentary. We're going to do that next weekend because it's Labor Day. It's a hard weekend. And still have to do a Rocky podcast. And there's Star Wars stuff brewing too. So there's going to be 2 or 3 Star Wars shows for the duration of 2017.
I'm excited for y'all's Rocky show. I really am.
I just have to figure out, Justin and Brian and I will figure out how to properly navigate this.
I really want y'all, please do this, okay? Because I want to listen. I want to listen to it as a fan. I will not participate. I'll produce it. I just want to listen to it as a fan of that franchise.
The older I get, some of these movies just get. I mean, the original Rocky is a masterpiece. Rocky 3 is a great 80s fun, bombastic Rocky sequel. Rocky Balboa is the comeback film of the century. I mean, there's there's so many golden nuggets in that franchise. I can't wait for us to dive in and talk about it. So,
Creed.
Where did that come from?
That was good.
It's so good. It's just so good. Everything about it's great. I mean, and the lead, Michael, whatever his name is, the kid's amazing. So, Michael Jordan, thank you. Michael Jordan. So anyway,
Michael B. Jordan, but no.
Michael B. Jordan. So, I was just having drinks at the Michael Jordan Steakhouse in Chicago a couple weeks ago. In fact, what a legend. Okay, so anyway, that's a lot of things on the horizon for Batman on Film, and of course, Justice League is just a couple of months away, guys. And I don't care how I feel about it going in, and I'm a little cynical. There's no denying that. But I'm cautiously optimistic. But I just know this: no matter what, I still get to see Gal Gadot on the big screen again, and I still get to see Ben Affleck's Batman on the screen again. And I love both of those characters and both of those interpretation of the characters. So if that's all I get out of it, you know what? I'm going to have 2 hours of good time just watching them. So we'll have fun.
Maybe
and you get to see that J.K. Simmons Commissioner Gordon stash.
Yes, they do. Yes. That's a serious
in IMAX.
Yes. Oh, and and look, and I love Cavill Superman. Bring him back, and I'm sure I'm going to love everybody else. I mean, I have a good. I think and my prediction is I think Momoa's going to. I think he's going to. I think he's going to run with this film. I think people are going to walk out of there as excited about Aquaman standalone as they are with the Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman sequel. I really do. I think it's going to be awesome.
I would agree, as long as they cut out the parademon surfing down the building.
That's all in Justice League, sir. So,
and
I'm talking about the future now.
Flying off the frickin' Batmobile to stab
everything
a parademon.
Bill mentions are like the things that I love.
I'm being a little tongue in cheek, you know.
No, I know.
You have a point, but anyway, it's
all right.
funny.
All right.
All right.
Anything else, Rick or Justin? We good?
No, we're good.
Just one more shout out to my fellow Texans and people and really all around the country, and for that matter, probably the world, that are contributing to this terrible incident in Houston. It's gut-wrenching. It's a sad state of affairs in my state, particularly our sister city down south, and we love everyone for what they're doing. And if whatever means you have, please. I went and made some more donations today, and again, the power of the volunteers, it's just inspiring. And I'll let that be what seeps into who I am versus the guys, hogging gas so they can take their boat out this weekend. You know what I mean?
And
you know what? Yeah, I did want to say it's really easy for people to give the Red Cross. I mean, even if you're like right now, you're on your phone, if you just text Red Cross to 90999, you can give $10 right there. That's how simple it is, and so do that. That's how I did it.
It is simple as can be. Also, my beloved Dallas Cowboys are hosting. Now tonight they were supposed to play the Texans in a preseason game, but the Texans wanted to get back to Houston. I don't blame them. They were diverted to Frisco, to Dallas, and from New Orleans because they couldn't get back into the city after they played New Orleans in a preseason game, and the Cowboys opened up the Star in Frisco to allow them to practice and whatnot. A lot of the players, the Cowboy players, have given money, and instead of the game tonight, they're actually hosting a telethon for Hurricane Harvey relief in Texas. And also, you can text STORM to 51555, and you can donate to the Salvation Army. So those are the two main charities that I've been plugging on the Batman on Film. So, and Rick also Rick did a lot. Rick donated tons of stuff so far, and I just want to say, well done, sir. You're a good guy despite what people say about you.
Mm-hmm.
You really are. So
I'm not looking for accolades for that.
No,
man.
But that was, you know what? Some people haven't done anything. So, and you are a very generous and kind person.
I will take that because
ruining your reputation?
No. Because I always tell people, look, I might be a blowhard, obnoxious dirtbag, but I will give you the shirt off my back. I will say that. That I can say about myself, and that's other than being a good dad. That's about it. I'm done after that. I've got like 3 things. Justin has 100 because he's amazing. Bill, you have like 4 or 5. Ryan has probably 50.
What?
Oh my God! All right.
So like I have 4 good things. Bill has maybe 4 or 5. Justin has 100. Ryan has 50. I think that's fair.
Sounds about. Probably right.
Yeah, but you get it. But you got to see all the stuff Justin's doing with, you talk about a person utilizing their faith in the right way. He's a remarkable human being.
Yeah.
We've made Ryan a little bitter and cynical. Unfortunately, we haven't done that to Justin.
No, we haven't. We haven't broken Justin.
I'm still loving Aquaman jumping down silent. We'll see.
Oh man. Yes. Right. Follow Justin, not Joel Osteen. Okay, Justin Justin is the real deal Christian. Okay.
Oh my God.
Anyway, moving on from that. That's all I'll say.
All right.
Can we wrap this up?
Yeah, there've been some funny memes of him like in a yacht out in out in the water and out in Houston and oh my God. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Announcer Rachel will take us out, and I had forgot to say, as always, Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive. What, Rick?
The dadgum original.
Hey now! You've been listening to the Batman on Film podcast, a proud member and the sponsor of the Batman Podcast Network, BatmanPodcastNetwork.com. You can listen to the BOF podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn, and wherever good podcasts like this one can be found. Want to advertise on the BOF podcast? Go to advertisecast.com/the Batman on Film Con podcast. Follow Jett on Twitter at Batman on Film and on BOF's Facebook fan page at facebook.com/Jett.BatmanOnFilm. Email Jett via Jett@batman-on-film.com. Follow Rick on Twitter at ShewRick and on Facebook at facebook.com/BOF-Shew. For Jett, Rick, Justin, and Ryan, I'm announcer Rachel. Thanks for listening.